dead and buried deep within a cemetery, I will fight, never weary, I wanna be legendary. Till I'm dead and buried deep within a cemetery, I will fight, never weary, I wanna be legendary.
And here we have him. There's English. How are you, mate?
Very good. Rocco?
There's
Vince, how are you? Nice.
It's great to see you again. Thank you for inviting us into your lovely home.
No, it's fine, but I don't normally sit around wearing the scarf. This is purely for the microphone.
You're looking
Don't
good.
worry, you're looking great.
You look good in blue.
I'll tell you what, you're looking real good. It's some 36, nearly 37 years since you retired. Did you remember? Did you realise that? Time goes quickly, doesn't it?
I realised my last game was the '86 Grand Final.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we got cleaned up by Hawthorn.
Yeah.
The only good thing about that day is I played my last game. I think Bruce Dill played his last game, and Mark McClure played his last game.
Yes, and they were two good mates of yours, weren't they?
Quite happy to go out in that company. So, although at the time I didn't realise it would be my last game.
No, you didn't realise it would be your last game there. So.
It was a premature ending. I mean, you probably had at least a good 2 or 3 more years left in you.
I can recall, I think I had one more left in me. I was going to go around once more.
Well, you would have played in the Premiership team the year after.
I don't know, but maybe. Well,
I reckon you would have got a gig in that last.
So.
Well, did you have a good relationship with Wolsey as a coach when he came in '86?
Well, that says everything just there.
Next question.
Look, I got on well with Wolsey, but I sort of think Wolsey was more into the young kids coming through, which was fair enough because you got the Premiership in '87 with them, so you had to put time into them.
Because in that year, in '86, we got a few good players come through, didn't we? We had Kernahan. Bradley. He did all right.
Had you had anything to do with Wolsey before that? Because I remember you started, I think you had a year in the Carlton reserves, didn't you, back in 78?
79.
79, was it?
And I think, did he leave Carlton
he left in 78?
78,
yeah.
So, no.
So he didn't cross paths back then. So when he came in as coach at the end of 85, start of 86, that was your first real interaction
with him, yes.
Okay, and you felt that he was looking to move on a lot of the senior players, or did he give it a year in '86 to sort out
he gave it
a player who couldn't?
Yeah, well, he had his ways, and I think he realised that when we lost the grand final, that there was time for the youth to come through, which was good. You talk about Kernahan before. One bloke that would have had he still had an outstanding career with Mil Hanna.
Yes.
But before he did his knee,
I know
he was firing in those practice games.
Wasn't he? He was doing really good. Yeah, you're right.
He would have set the world on fire.
We interviewed Mel Hanna, and he said that. But he said when he got injured, and I asked him if he was happy about you guys or about like in '87 and in '86, and he goes, yeah, because he thought that we're going to play in the next 10 grand finals, not realising, but and then he got injured,
He didn't play in the '87 Premiership, but then he had to wait 8 more years before he finally got his Premiership medal. So, you think they'll come around easy, but
you kind of did the same because you started in you played in 3 grand finals, did you?
3 grand finals.
Yeah, and you won 2.
1, 2.
You must have thought this is easy stuff here.
After the 81, 82 back to back, how many more did you think you'd win?
We did want to try for 3 in a row. But just didn't eventuate. And look, we always wanted to win.
Sure.
But after 2 in a row, you do become the hunted.
Yes.
And teams don't care how they go.
Yeah.
As long as they beat Carlton.
They want to beat the Premiers, don't they?
Do you think that also there's a little bit of some players maybe might have been quite satisfied with that and weren't quite as hungry as they might have once been in 81 and 82?
Probably.
And even for some of them, 79.
I would say
3 premierships
subconsciously.
in 4 years for some of them.
Because games would slip away from you, or that were slipping away, and you would say, so-and-so will do something in a minute, so-and-so, we'll be right, away we go, but they might have been thinking the same.
Someone else will do it.
And it just...
but there's your difference. That's fascinating, that. So, to win a premiership, I mean, you've got to take it on. I mean, you're the one that's got to do it. And then all of a sudden you're kind of, he'll take it, you know what I mean? And you lose that little bit of an edge. And that's all it takes, doesn't it?
Well, 81, we played Collingwood, and twice in the home and away season they beat us.
Yes, that's right.
We didn't beat them.
Similar story in 82.
And then in 82, we got flogged by Richmond in the second, and they were a better team throughout the year. I think they finished on top, and rightfully.
Yeah.
And we just... I think there was a little bit of doubt in the minds, but Parko just drilled into us. That first 10 minutes is going to be hell for leather. Get that first score on the board, and we went bang, 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 three goals. And I think in the end we won by about
18 points.
18 points. I think it was 16. So even though Richmond did fight back and get in front, but playing catch-up football takes it out of you, and it was good to have those 3 goals in the bank at the start.
Mate, the goals in the
that ended up being the difference at the end. However we got there, that's how we got there.
Before that, right, so we'll go back to, what was your first year in 70?
79, I played reserves. And
I was going to ask you even to go even back a little bit before that. What was your background in football prior to coming to Carlton reserves in 79? You played in the Bendigo?
Grew up in Bendigo, played in the Bendigo League with Eagle Hawk.
Great recruiting ground for us.
It was good for Carlton, Bendigo. I think my 3 best players to come out of there, and apologies to Greg Williams, but Southby,
yes,
Rod Ashman,
yes,
Trevor Keogh,
yes,
yep. How could you argue with that?
You can't argue with that.
You can't argue with that.
I think
you can argue about the order.
You just can't argue.
Greg Williams was filthy.
Present company excluded.
No. I mean, you got Peter McConville played 3 premierships.
Yeah, exactly right.
170 odd great games for the player. He was a good player. Peter Dean, yeah.
He was another.
He came a bit later.
Was it Peter Francis?
Peter Francis didn't play in the Bendigo. I think he played with Heathcote in the minor league.
Okay, yeah.
Well, then came down, and I don't know why he left the club. I don't know what happened there. So
we know what happened there.
Yeah. We had an interview with him last year, and it was the Frank Marcassani deal.
Right, deal. And, he didn't want to leave.
He didn't want to leave.
Yeah,
but one week he's playing for Carlton, and then remember the old night games on a Tuesday night.
Yep.
Well, he was meant to play in a game, and then he was withdrawn because of that deal taking place. And the following weekend, he was in a Fitzroy jumper.
Imagine that.
That was in the middle of the season.
Well, that happens. I remember going to training one night and walking in with a bag, and Phil Malin's walking the other way with his bag. I said, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm going to Footscray."
That's right.
He said, "Carlo just called me and I'm off the foot." I said, "Oh shit, okay."
That's true. Phil Malin went to Footscray. Yeah. Yes. Well, so you played in a successful side there in Bendigo.
Didn't play in a premiership.
Right.
Grew up and went to school at Marsh Brothers and played. First 4 years was premierships. We didn't lose a game.
You didn't lose a game?
No.
In the first 4 years?
Yeah.
And you're just like cruising along, winning premiership.
Yeah. That's what you play football, you win premiership. And then my first year in the under 18s at Eagle Hawk.
Yeah.
We lost 1 game, I think.
Yeah.
And won the premiership. And we went along again the next year. We made the grand final. We lost a few games, and then we got thumped in the grand final. And that's when reality hit.
And that's where that edge just. Yeah. You lose that edge.
The next year,
you always played back.
No, it's centreman, right?
Oh, were you?
Centreman for half forward.
Yeah.
And then next year I went up to the seniors and one way around, and then luckily I won a medal.
Yes.
There. But never got to play.
You won 2 best and fairest, didn't you?
No, one, just the one. But never got to play in a grand final.
Okay,
I thought, God. First 5 years I played as a junior was premierships.
Yeah, and then
the drought started.
Yeah.
I thought, shit, what's... And then luckily after winning the medal I came down and traded out with Carlton. But
how does that come about? Like, how do you come to train with Carlton? Did they ask you? Did they see? They would have known about you.
You don't get it. You just get told, put in a pre-season and then come down. And try out in the practice games and see if you can get on the
Carlton recruiters. That's like going to the well every year.
That was
go
like,
to
that was
Bendigo,
easy.
go down to Bendigo, go down to Bendigo.
or else go over to WA with a brown paper.
Oh
bag.
yeah, all that. And eventually they realised that there's a place called South Australia on the way to Western Australia, and they took a few brown paper bags there too, I think. But anyway,
when I was playing in the seniors and Kenny Hunter and them, and we always had a mid-season break, a bye, that they played 3 games one week and 3 games the next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other 6 teams that had their week off. And all the WA players were going over back home to Perth for the weekend. I said, "Hey, did you do that?" So the club just pays out tickets and happy days. I went and knocked on Colo's door and I said, "Listen, I'm going to Bendigo for the weekend. Can I have some petrol money?" And he just said, "Close the door."
Oh dear. You should have told him you were Western Australia. Maybe what you should have done is gone from Bendigo and played over in Port Hedland or something over in Western Australia, and they might have recruited you.
No, it's just a bit of fun and frivolity at the time.
Yeah. So what was that like, your first year in the reserve? So on what basis were you recruited? Did they just say this is where you've got to start and prove yourself before you get a game in the seniors? Or
No, I came down and, as I said, I was a centreman.
Yep.
Had a couple of runs in the reserves in the centre and went ordinary.
Yep.
Then I went to the half-forward flank and went ordinary, and then the half-back flank. And then by the middle of the season, they put me in the back pocket, and I said to Serge Silvani, who was the coach, I said, "Christ, next week, instead of going to the back pocket, I'll be back over the fence and back home to Bendigo." And he goes, "Well, if you have a crack, just have a crack at it." And I went okay and was playing well. But
do you remember what number you were wearing that time?
27.
You were wearing 27?
Because when you make the senior list, they present the jumpers to you. So.
Yes.
I thought you had a higher number before they...
when I came...
it was double
match
wasn't
permits.
Wasn't it double
Yeah,
that?
54 or something. Why do you ask these questions?
He wants you to say it.
But I came down on match permits, but was nowhere near fit enough to play.
Right.
And one game at Princes Park and one game out at Waverley, which was huge ground. Jeez, I couldn't believe how big it was.
Mate, you see the car park.
And it just it found me out, so that they sent me back to Bendigo, and so eventually made my way back. And
so they sent you back to Bendigo after that.
Yeah. After
so did you think
games,
that was over?
I thought that was it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Gee whiz, eh? So what turned it around?
Yeah.
That was narrowly
in the
wife
background.
saying I turned him around.
Well, I just put the head down and the bum up.
Yep.
Put in the hard yards in Bendigo and won.
Playing in the back?
No, playing in the centre.
Oh,
again.
back in the centre,
In the
yeah.
centre. And everything went okay. And we came down. We still lived in Bendigo in '79. I'd drive down on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yep.
And then we'd come down on Friday night and stay at the Park Royal, was it, love? Or?
Yes. The one in Royal Parade?
Yeah.
Park Royal, yep.
And spend Friday night there and then go back home on Sunday morning.
Mm-hmm.
And 1980 we started the same thing. I said, shit, let's go and live there for 12 months.
Yep.
And if living there, it's easier, it doesn't take so much out of you
Of
to get the
course.
training and stuff.
Yep.
If we don't make it, we'll go back to Bendigo.
At least
live
you've given it a crack.
and given it my best shot. And
Yep.
luckily things fell into place, and
Good.
because of injury actually, because Harmsy got injured.
Oh, I see.
He was the back pocket player.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Great back pocket player.
and they had Alex Marcoux playing in the back pocket for a couple, and
Really?
he got injured, I think, and
Didn't
there
realise
was no
he
one
played
left.
back pocket.
So they put me in there, and
Right.
happy days.
Fantastic. So you got your opportunity. And that was under Percy Jones in 1980. How did you find him as a coach?
He was no. I've got to give first credit. He was the first bloke to give me a crack in the seniors, so I'm not going to bag him.
No, of course not.
He was very good.
And you finished second. I mean, you had a really good year, actually. Finished second on the ladder. After the home and away season.
and then we went out in straight sets.
Yeah,
but
unfortunately.
I got dropped after the first finals.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no. That's
Do you think you deserved to be dropped, or did you think that was a bit harsh?
well, you never.
Yeah, you never think
never
it can be
think
dropped.
Yeah.
No, but when I was in the shower and I saw Wes Lofts walking towards me, I thought, oh, here we go.
It's
I'm in trouble.
Don't worry, Wes, I know what's going on. So, yeah, okay.
He was a harsh man too, wasn't
He was harsh, but when you think you've got to make the hard call. So
you can't make everyone happy, can you?
And I've coached up here in the local club myself.
Yep.
And you cannot keep everyone happy.
No.
Yeah,
you just got to make the calls that you think are the right calls.
Someone's always going to be disappointed, isn't it? Especially like grand finals and that.
It's a thankless task, really, some of the selectors.
82 still. We had some injuries in the finals. I think Bazasto was out injured. Someone else, Jono was out suspended.
Yep.
And we got through to the grand final. And
and they both played.
You knew they were going to come back in, and Frank Marcazzani and David Clark
both ran out on that.
Yeah, but missed out. Which
that was interesting, wasn't it? Because they ran out. Was that all planned? Was it all? Do you remember any of that?
It was planned by Parker.
I know it was planned by Parker, but did you all know about it? Like, it was
he told us. Yeah. And it was just to give them the opportunity to run onto the grand final day.
Do you think in hindsight that was a kind gesture or a cruel gesture?
I don't know.
Because I've heard different opinions on that from blokes that you've played.
I think if it had been me, I would have declined the opportunity. Right. If you're not playing, you don't run on the ground.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
And Frank and David, if they wanted, that's fine.
Wasn't it also done to try and unsettle the opposition as well, to keep them guessing about who's playing and who's not?
I don't know about
I think there was a bit of that too.
But, the players don't look at the other players when they run out, unless the coaches. The coaches would have been.
Yeah.
Because everyone ran out. I mean, Dominator ran out. Yeah. They all ran out.
Yep.
Richmond knew Dominator's playing. They knew he's coming. So
there was a little bit of cat and mouse, a little bit of keep them guessing right up until Clark and Marcazzani then ran.
Don't you have to put your team sheets in an hour before the game or something?
I don't know.
Well, you can still have last minute withdrawals for various reasons, and it's happened before in games.
Yeah, that's true.
It's even happened when they've tripped over the damn, the banner as they roll out. They get a hamstring.
You're right. There would have been the team sheet.
But anyway, nevertheless, so 1980 was a relatively good year for you under Perth, but as you said, you got dropped after the first final, so you didn't play the second one where we got eliminated.
By Collingwood, no. So how did you feel after that and going into, another pre-season? Did you think you were at the crossroads again because of that sort of thing?
Yeah.
Or did you think, I'm going to knuckle down and get back?
Well, then we got a new coach,
of course,
Parko, and he just was so infectious and vibrant and all the pre-season training we did, he did it with us. I thought, well, this bloke's...
did he?
Yeah, all the running we did, he ran with us.
How good's that?
Yeah. Wow.
I wasn't aware of that.
So...
that's something we've learnt today.
I didn't know that. That's
so mate, Parker actually did the pre-season with all the players.
Yeah.
He was pretty fit though, like in those days.
Well, he was nearly 40 then. He was about 38 when he came to the club.
But to see him do that, and that made me, then I knew I had to knuckle down and... This bloke, like starting with a clean slate, I might get another opportunity. And luckily I got in and started slowly, but gradually got to understand the way he was going about his business. And
back pocket, like he already had you ready for the back pocket.
And unknown to me, he had a special little thing for me because nothing better than a number 27 in the back pocket.
Oh, of course. Yes, Parko wore 27 for Hawthorn in the back pocket.
In the back pocket.
And he captained them to a premiership in 61. Sorry, 71.
Yeah.
71, yeah.
Wow. So there was you had a couple of good players next year. You had Bruce Dool.
We had Southby. Probably the most underrated Carlton player I've come across, Curly Austin.
Yes.
God, he was a good player.
Very reliable.
Val Perovic.
Yeah. Actually, you handballed the ball a lot to him. I was looking at the highlights.
Well, he could kick it 40 yards further than I could.
So you're the man who used to feed the wolf.
Well, that's what I told Bruce Dill. I made you look good. All the muck I mopped up for you.
But that was a strong back line.
Yeah. And we had Peter McConville down there.
Did you have to sometimes just sort of pinch yourself to say, geez, look who I'm playing with here. I'm playing with legends of the club. Bruce Dool, Jeff South.
Never pinched myself, but
no?
I thought...
Or did you think, hey, I'm pretty good too?
No, I thought it's good to be out here with these blokes because if you muck up, they're going to be there to
and they always
fix it.
They're right onto you.
Yeah.
And did you ever get any of them giving you a bit of a toweling down because you made a mistake or you stuffed up? Or?
No, I never made mistakes.
Very good.
Good answer, Des. Good answer. I like it.
Look, the biggest thrill I got, I must have done something good.
Yeah.
And Bruce Doyle ran past, tapped me on the bum and said, "Well done."
That is fantastic.
I'm going off to have a shower now.
That is fantastic.
Yeah,
Well,
doesn't get much better than that.
even get him to tap you on the bum, let alone telling you well
No,
done.
he just said, "Well done."
He actually spoke to you. That's good.
That's good. That's fantastic. Did he speak much? Well, it's not about Bruce Doyle, but did he speak much on the ground?
No. Oh, yes, but
Instruction.
Yeah.
And
Where, like, what would he say? Like, stand
there,
go and take him, or
if someone was coming behind to spoil, he'd tell me what's going on.
oh, all right, so,
so-
yeah. All right, that's fantastic. Yeah,
No, very good.
yeah.
And he never bagged anyone.
No.
He was just the ultimate gentleman. And
Were you ever there with him when one of those mongrels took his headband
No,
off and
I
threw it out in the crowd, like Tony Bahaja or one?
Oh yeah, I was there that day.
Were you?
Yeah. Played in that one.
Yeah.
And the little so and so.
Little prick.
Yeah. That did upset Bruce. There wasn't
But
much.
he fixed that. You know that because he was prepared next time round.
Yeah,
When someone took his his headband off, next time he just reached into his sock, put another one around his head.
I wasn't unaware of that.
He thought, I got you this time. Yeah.
But that was about the only thing that could upset him.
Yeah.
And
Otherwise, he was pretty unflappable, wasn't he? Even a streaker coming on the ground didn't really unsettle him too much.
And I never saw him play a bad game. And he played, 350 odd games, whatever it was.
Everyone says that. Yeah.
350.
What about the '86 grand final?
Yeah.
A little bit. Like Dunstall kicked a few guys.
That was Bruce's last game.
Yeah, I know.
And as it turns out, as they said,
The ball was coming down that often.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And
there's so much.
Dunstall can play. Like he
Dunstall-
only got the second most. Or
Yeah,
third most.
he's kicked
Well, he was just
1,300
starting
goals.
I mean, little did anyone know that he was going to be a 1,000 goal full forward.
No, fantastic.
Let's go back to the 81 and 82 quickly.
Yeah, 100%.
So Parkin came in. You obviously resonated with him and vice versa.
Yep.
At what stage did you feel comfortable, like, yep, I'm well entrenched here? Was it in 81? Because you pretty much played the whole year there.
Yeah. Probably after the 81 second semi-final.
Right.
Out at Waverley Park. We played Geelong.
Yep.
And I went pretty well.
Yep.
And
we'll show some highlights.
And the next Sunday, the Sunday after, I was invited to World of Sport, and
Yes.
I thought, I feel
Oh, yeah, you're going to go to World of Sport.
happy days.
Yeah, when you get invited into that, you know you've done well.
yeah.
So did you ever win anything there? Like a I don't know,
Bataki hand.
a player of the day, or
No,
did you go in to be interviewed and get all of the goodies like Patra orange juice and Palaco shirts and whatever else they gave away?
I'm like the Clark Griswold. when they had a night series in the middle of the week, played on Tuesdays.
Yes, that's right.
The player who got best on the ground
That's right.
won a TV.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Canberra TV.
And I won a radio. They changed it from...
Well, do you remember who won a Canberra TV on one of those night matches after getting about 7 possessions for the game?
I know.
Might have been Robert Klomp.
Robert Klomp.
Klomp Award.
Good on you, Klompy.
I won my best on the ground in the 83 night grand final.
Night grand final.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was a great match against Richmond.
All the years before that, of the night grand final, the bloke who got best on the ground went into World of Sport and they gave him a car.
Oh, really? And in the year you went, you got the radio.
No, they changed the blokes that got the car, they won the TV as well.
Yeah.
Right.
But the year that I won it, they changed it to all the night games, the votes.
Oh.
So if there's 5 blokes voted 10 votes,
Right.
I got 49 votes and Roy Ramsey got 50 votes. For North Melbourne, and he won the car.
Roy Ramsey.
There you go. That's unreal.
So it's happy days.
That would be disappointing.
Oh, he played for North Melbourne, didn't
North
he?
Melbourne, yeah.
I thought we played... Was that
One
the grand final?
vote.
No, he played a game, in the night games.
Oh, right. Okay. So
And he got best on the ground.
Right.
And all his votes added up to 50.
Yeah,
Right,
and yours
gotcha.
added up to
Mine added
49.
up to 49 because they showed it on
right.
on the World of Sport on the. I was sitting in the lounge room at the babysitters,
Right.
and the babysitter said, "You nearly won a car." I said, "Oh well, didn't win it."
Yeah, that's it.
What you
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have, you don't miss.
Yeah, that's true. I remember the story that Kenny Hunter and Peter Buzzusto told us that the one year that Buzzusto, so I think Kenny Hunter won a
Mark of the Year,
won a car from Channel
Mark of the
7
Year,
for Mark of the Year.
Yeah.
Buzzusto won it from the ABC and they gave him a bike. And you know what Kenny Hunter said? "Don't worry, Buzz, you can ride over to my place and wash my car any day."
Well, that was good camaraderie.
Yeah, that was good.
We could have the best fun used to be on a Sunday morning listening to Mark McClure and Val Perovic go at each other.
Oh, really?
God, they used to say some funny stuff to each other.
Yeah.
It was just the best.
Well, that's interesting you say that. We've detected that really the camaraderie that existed amongst those guys that played predominantly in the late 70s and early 80s through those 3 premierships in 4 years. It's just enormous friendship and lifelong relationships that a lot of you guys made with each other, and your partners all get along and catch up as well. Your wives and girlfriends.
And that was a big part of you being successful, you think?
Yeah, because I think Parko organised. I didn't organise, but every away game we played, we'd catch the bus. We'd go to Princes Park, catch the bus, and go to Victoria Park.
Yep, we're
the MCG down to Geelong, and the wives and the girlfriends are all with us.
All with you.
So they got to mingle.
That's good.
And
the Geelong one would have been a long trip, especially if you lost.
don't recall losing down there.
Really?
But, we'd play out at Waverley, and we'd go have our game. If we won, we'd go to the aftermatch on the bus. And stop at the Village Green, get a couple of slabs for the bus ride home, and we'd sing along on the way home.
Sing along on the way home.
If we lost, go to the aftermatch, get on the bus, drive straight past it. No grog on the bus.
No. And Parko tried to sort of change a little bit of that drinking culture back in those days.
Must have driven him crazy because he's a non-drinker, and we were pretty much into it. We played hard on the ground, and we played hard off the ground.
That's why he kind of he let it go a bit later because he thought, they're doing what they have to do.
Battle here.
And you're still getting the results.
Yeah,
we knew when to stop. Some of them might have had a little bit more during the week, but most of us stopped after Sunday or Monday was the case.
After Sunday or Monday, and then that's it. Maybe Tuesday. That's it.
Those Sunday mornings, pretty good getting together.
Was
Those pleasant Sunday mornings at the club. That would have been a good time.
They were the best.
Win, lose or draw?
Win, lose or draw.
Yep.
Because we did a little bit of just a run around the ground, stretch out, and then straight upstairs into the grog and watch World of Sport.
Always the World of Sport. Everyone watch the World of Sport.
And after the footy highlights, and then we went home, or else if there was something organised, we'd kick on and have a good day. But I don't know how we drove home, but we did.
You guys end up having reserves games those days, like the Army Reserve Cup down at the Lakeside Oval?
I played in a fair share of those.
Don't
worry, I did all the hard yards.
Yeah. So did you still do the pleasant Sunday morning and then go and play reserves?
No,
none of that.
None of that. You
straight off to the reserve.
Played on a Sunday, you're straight down there.
Right. Yeah.
Even when I played in the seniors, if I got injured and missed a week, back through the twos.
That's it.
Never came back.
What was it like having those two guys, especially in 81, Buzzusto and Hunter, come in, and then, of course, Ross Tichburn was another Western Australian recruit in 82. Did they give us that little injection of I guess, wow factor? Because they were fabulous players, weren't they?
Well, they were. But when I first saw Kenny Hunter, scrawny, a skinny little.
Yeah. Well, I think we all thought the same when we saw him.
And then
courage.
Gets out and runs around the ground and just left foot kick and Jesus, when we out on the ground in actual matches, wow,
he was a demon.
And the Buzz, he would tell us what he's going to do.
Was he good enough to do it?
And he did it. He was good. He said, "Watch this, I'll go and do this."
That's the Muhammad Ali of the footy world. Yeah.
He's almost like the Jason Ackermanis of the Carlton football team.
I think so. after took the big mark in Princess Park
Yeah,
against
yeah.
Geelong, after the game, he walks into the... I've got it. He said, what? He said, I've got the car. But you win a bike.
You want a bike?
That's right, exactly.
And then out at Waverley, when he did the smother.
Yes.
And
that was the goal of the year.
Same year.
Same
year. Done it again.
Yeah, done it again.
Same team too, but different game.
Yeah. Goal,
That was in the final. That was in the final.
That was unbelievable. I
was in the second semi-final.
Down the other end watching, I thought, shit, that was a good thing. And
You
well,
reckon
that
he-
deserved the goal of the year.
Nah, 100%.
He enjoyed playing against Geelong.
You reckon he dived about 15 metres to get the ball? But that was good.
By the way, if you want a framed copy of both the goal of the year and the mark of the year in 1981, signed by Peter Bazzusto, you can call him. He's still got plenty in reserve. He'll sell it to you.
1,500. Give me one, Buzz. Give me one.
He's been selling them for 42 years.
Oh, no, it's good.
No, good on him.
Buzz
and
is,
he's had his health
Had
issues.
his health issues.
Yeah,
Just
but
like you have. And, you know, like...
Isn't it
it's
great
good
getting old?
Isn't it? Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't have expected to have encountered that at such a young age. I mean, you were only, 30 years of age?
31, yeah.
Or 31, wasn't it?
And, so it just happens.
Yeah.
Can I ask you how you found out? Like, did you feel sick? Did you fall over? Did you?
I just felt lethargic there for a while, and I started to lose balance.
Yeah.
And they sent me off for these tests, and I said to the club doctor, "Look, I've got these little peanuts growing on me stomach here."
Oh, really?
And he goes, "Oh, it's just fatty tissue because you're not training." I said, "Oh, I don't think it's fatty tissue." And I kept at him, and he said, "Look, I'll send you down to this bloke and do a biopsy."
Isn't it funny how they just fob you off like it's nothing?
And then found out the bloke, he actually cut it open there, and he goes, "Oh, it could be something there."
You don't want to be hearing that. Yeah.
So, then we found out the news, and I was devastated. But once you've got it, you've just got to...
All you can do is take the treatment.
And
hope for the best.
Oh, God, the treatment was shocking. But anyway, it's all good because I'm here to tell the tale.
Absolutely. And did you...
But only a few months, how long, well, you went into remission, yeah?
Yeah.
How long after you got diagnosed?
12 months.
12 months.
Yeah.
So you got diagnosed first at the end of 86?
In the
Early 87?
I felt crook in the February of 87.
Right.
Just felt dizzy.
So you just turned 31.
Yeah.
So...
And then...
How long before you...
took about 3 months to actually find out what it was.
Diagnose
which made it nearly... It was nearly... I think it was about the start of June when I started chemotherapy.
Right.
Did they tell you, were they warning you what it could be? Did you have any idea before they told you? Zero.
They never mentioned cancer.
Okay.
They don't say it because they don't want to scare you.
They tried all these other...
But your treatment went for 12 months. Is that what you're saying?
6 months.
6 months. Right.
And then after that, you had the veins just collapsed. I couldn't take it anymore, so I had 3 or 4 weeks off.
Yep.
And then you had a consolidating course, which was every 3 weeks. So it took about 8 or 9 months. But after the 12 months, you said, I think, you never said cured.
Right.
You just says you're in remission.
Remission. Would have knocked you about.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah. You wouldn't have been able to work or go anywhere.
I had to have 12 months off work.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't have been able to go out much and do anything.
Didn't feel like it. You just don't feel like it.
And plus, you wouldn't feel like it. But just quickly, so you get told, and then when you're told you're in remission, how good's that feel? I
want to run down to the Rialto and run up to the yell it out to the
But during that time that you were getting treated, you would have witnessed the team playing off in the 1987 grand final, and Peter Dean obviously it meant a lot to him that they did it for yourself and for Peter Motley.
Yes.
And he set it up in the microphone, which is
and then
big
he went
credit to him. And then he went arse over like he did in the 95 one as well.
Oh, was it? Yeah, he didn't go.
No, not in 87, but in 95 he went arse over.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. In 87 he went on the microphone and he said, "Mott's Desi, fucking bloody beauty," or something like that.
He swore, that's right. He did say
but anyway,
that.
he always did something that sort of...
he's a good fella, Peter.
He's a great bloke. Very, very popular.
Funny how all those good fellas come from Bendigo.
Yes, it's funny about that, isn't
The
it?
country people.
So did that really sort of inspire you a bit and sort of make you feel good that these guys still recognised you and they did it for you? Or did it for you and Mott's?
I was in the rooms before the game, and
You were there.
and Sticks came up and said to me, "We'll win this for you." And I said, "Don't worry about winning it for me. Just win it for yourself. I'll be just happy." And look, it's nice that they thought that way, but I was just as happy that they won it just for themselves.
Of course, but it shows the closeness of the group.
Yeah,
shows the closeness because even
and the respect. And the respect.
Yeah, because everyone like we've interviewed from that '87 mentions the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
Mentions.
So I wasn't privy to their meetings. Maybe they did, but for their sakes, like the Mick Kennedys and Warren McKenzie's,
of course,
unsung hero, and Shane Robertson.
Yes,
they're now
Ian
Premiership
Aiken.
players. Ian Aiken, they're Premiership players, and as someone said, the great man. Once you become a Premiership player, they can't take that away from you.
That's right.
Very, very
That's
true.
right.
Yeah, it would have been at least heartwarming to know that you were thought of. I can tell you that Robert Walls never really had to say much about it, but within the team, they all spoke about it quietly amongst each other and said, "Come on, we've got to do this."
That's nice to know. That's lovely. So,
for Motts as well, because Motley had a tragic car accident. We interviewed Paul Meldrum just recently, and he told us all about this.
Yeah, because he was there in the car behind him.
That must have been devastating. And there's nothing you could do. You're stuck there. You can, oh God, no.
Yeah, he really had a life sentence in terms of he had brain damage and never been able to be the same person again.
That would have been hard. Like, I love to talk to Peter, but
did you get to know Peter Motley much in that year that you played with him? No. 86? No.
Because he was another non-drinker. So I was one of the drinkers.
Him and Bradley and all that. They drank orange juice. That's right. They were super fit guys, weren't they?
Oh, they were. And
Sticks was a good drinker, though.
Well, that's why you got on.
That's why you
got the captaincy, wasn't it?
But it's,
excuse me.
Just I wonder what sort of career Peter Motley would have had. It would have been a brilliant one.
Because he was just finding his feet there, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he had all the attributes. And he did look after himself.
Yeah.
And so it's a tragedy, really.
Yeah.
Can we just go a little bit back? I know we're sort of jumping around all over the place with the interview, but I'm intrigued to know from your point of view, because you won these two premierships early on in your career, your senior career, 81 and 82, after starting in 1980, where you still had a very good year. All of a sudden, 83, 84, 85, those 3 years there, how did you view those years? Did you feel that they were good years for Carlton? Would you have categorised them as successful or unsuccessful, or how did you look at them, and how do you reckon Parkin was coaching the team back then?
Look, he was doing a great job, and I always thought each year as we're going through the season, we're a chance to get another one here. And unfortunately, we didn't. But I never ever thought that we're just going through the motions.
You never thought we weren't good enough to play off?
No, I always thought we were good enough to get there.
But you got deep. You got into the finals. I mean,
we never got past semi-final stage. We either got eliminated in the first round in the elimination final, or I think in '84 we might have played a semi-final.
No, I think we lost every.
We lost qualifying final and then semi-final. So.
But I always thought, we're a chance.
Good enough,
And that time out at Waverley, we played North Melbourne. I think it was 6 goals up at one stage.
Yeah, and then they came over the top of us.
Wayne Schimmelbusch did. Just ran right. But that was
But then the two teams like Hawthorn and Essendon,
they were good teams.
Yeah, they were good teams.
Well, that's it. The rise of Essendon under Sheedy, and I think Hawthorn really, that was the start of their dynasty from 83 through to 91.
Yeah.
They made 8 grand finals in 9 years and won. I think they won 5 of them. So they were two pretty tough teams to knock off, weren't they?
It's funny how we were the dominant team at the end of the 80s, end of the 70s and early 80s. And then Essendon had their run, then Hawthorn and just took over.
And we had that little window, 86 through to 88 under Wolsey.
A couple there, a couple grand finals there. But that was our decade.
Talking about Essendon, they must have been the bogey team for your coach back in the early 80s. Even in those years when we won premierships in 81 and 82, we could barely knock the buggers off.
Well, we didn't.
Do you play in that game at Prince's Park? No.
Yeah, with Neil Danaher.
Yeah, that one.
Oh. I had that ball. And he come over the top. Oh, you bastard! And then he turned around and kicked the goal.
Did he go over the top of you?
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, he took the mark over Desi. Yeah.
What are you doing, Des, mate?
Come on, Des.
I
was going to have it. Oh, here we go.
He's actually a good mark for his.
You know when he went back?
Yeah.
You didn't think he was going to kick it, did you?
Oh, yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah, I know he was a good player, but man, that's like it was far. I know it wasn't 80 metres, but it was a good 55, 60 metre.
Jimmy Buckley kicked the goal. Put us 26 points in front with about 7 minutes to go or something. And Frank Marcus only lifted him high in the air like we just won a premiership.
We were celebrating. Yeah.
Celebrating.
And I was going down there.
You thinking we've got this one too?
Yep.
You were. So I think the whole team was in that frame of mind, weren't they?
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, what happened?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Mike Fitzpatrick had the ball taken off him for time wasting. Remember that?
It's supposed to be a ball up, not a free kick.
That's right. That's ridiculous. But the momentum, you could see the momentum switch. You know what I mean?
You scored, you could feel it.
Yeah.
Do you know there were Essendon supporters who left the ground after Jimmy Buckley's goal?
Really?
I know some of them.
Oh, that's all.
And they were leaving the ground in their droves. And then all of a sudden they get back to their cars and it's like, geez, we won by a point.
Good, they missed it.
That's right.
In those 2 years.
But Parko must have been thinking, what have I got to do to knock off Sheedy?
Yeah. Well, I don't think we got him till 85.
That's right.
So, but in those 2 years, Essendon beat us twice.
Yep.
We beat North Melbourne twice.
Mm-hmm.
And North Melbourne beat Essendon twice.
Yeah. There you go.
How do you work that out? Essendon couldn't beat North Melbourne, but we could.
Some teams are just better matched up against others, aren't they?
I don't know. I still don't know why that happened.
Yeah.
Can we go back quickly? That 80 for your first grand final.
Yep.
When you run out.
81.
81. Yep. How's it feel? Like, do you remember? Like, can you remember the noise?
I soaked it all up because I remember people saying when you run out, you feel like you're running on the air, but I don't. You're running on the ground, so but you just soak it all up. The crowd goes.
Yeah.
The best part of the grand final, besides being in front of the final siren,
of course,
is when they start the game.
Yes.
Hold the button, the siren goes.
Yeah.
The roar is deafening.
Yes.
Really?
And it's the same when they start the last quarter.
Yes.
Does it pump you up with adrenaline as soon as that happens? It does.
I'm getting chills like thinking about it now. Like
then in the rooms, can I just ask you quickly? In the rooms, can you hear anything of the pre-game hype, like whether they're playing up there, Kazali out in the field, or whether
we couldn't hear, or
whether they're playing the team theme songs or whatever? You can't hear any of that down in the rooms, can you?
Were you nervous?
Yes.
Yep.
You don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to muck up.
That's right.
What did you do in the rooms to keep yourself calm and focused? And
we had a bloke called Laurie Hayden who used to be our psych bloke, whatever. Mm-hmm. He was good value.
Yep.
And he'd just take us into a room.
Yep.
And we'd all lay on the floor. I don't think Parko was much on this, but I got a bit out of it.
Yeah.
You just the room would be darkened. You could still see.
Is this before the grand final?
Yeah. Before most games.
Yeah.
And he would just get you to close your eyes and imagine going for the ball the first time, what you're going to do.
I didn't know that.
And
that's the first time I've ever
psychology.
heard that.
Yeah, it was psychology. Yeah, that's so. And you didn't do it too much because you don't want to spend all your
energy doing that.
So
just to calm you down and get you ready. Visualise.
Visualise. Yeah, that's a good word. And we did that. And when the game starts, it's just full on.
Yeah.
And
you knew who you were going to play on?
Yeah.
Who did you play on in the 81 grand final?
I started on Tony Shaw.
Tony Shaw?
And he changed with his brother Ray Shaw.
Yep. Did you give them both a whack?
No, Ray Shaw cleaned me up, the bastard. Did me collarbone. So.
Did he really?
Yeah.
In the grand final?
In the third quarter.
Wow.
When I went off, Carlton were down.
These bloody residents.
No, when I went off, Carlton... the Carlton were down when I hit the front.
Yeah.
So.
Master stroke.
Master stroke, I just want to go and sit on the bench and have a look from the side.
Just enjoy it,
but, we're all nervous.
Yes, of course.
But Collingwood, they're all nervous
as
well.
Exactly. Everyone's the same.
Whoever settles down first.
Now, how quick does it take to settle down? Like, is it like immediately or when you first touch the ball? Or
I think when Not when but when fall comes in, obviously, and you're involved.
Because then you're completely involved.
Then away you go.
So what do you look to do? I mean, is it you just want to sink your foot into the football and kick it long, or to get that bit of initial nervous energy out of you, or do you want to just hand pass it off, or
it's nice to get a kick, but even you can't do it in this day and age, which is unfortunate. Parko said, if there's a ball up and you're not getting any, run in and knock someone over. Just get body contact, so you feel part of the game.
That's exactly.
And it did.
That makes sense. That makes sense, because you want to get some sort of contact, touch the ball.
Did Parko ever give you any instructions to go after a certain player?
No.
No? Okay. No. You're one of the ones that missed out.
No, but...
in 82, he might have given one or two guys a few instructions.
He just said that if anyone knocks one of our blokes, give the bloke next to you a whack and tell him.
That's right. That happened in 82.
Do you know who did that? Do you know who did that on the ground in 82?
Mario Bortolotto.
Bortolotto, God rest his soul.
Actually, Mario did that a couple of times. He whacked David Cloak.
Yeah.
And then he gave Kevin Bartlett one too.
That's it.
Poor old KB, he's appealing to Glenn James. You just see it. Get on with the game, he said.
Yes. No, good on him. No, he certainly was a great team man and did it for the team, didn't he?
He did. I wouldn't have been able to do it. I could probably just jumper punch.
The jumper punch.
I couldn't just turn around and whack someone. But I can say that now, but I wouldn't have told Parker. No.
So at the end of 85, you've had those 3 years where Essendon and Hawthorn have played off in 3 grand finals in a row. We've made finals but haven't won one. So did you feel even at the time that it was time for a change, just as the administration obviously did and the board obviously did, and thought we need to change something up here, and they ended up doing that swap with Robert Walls with Fitzroy. So Parkham went to Fitzroy, Walls came to Carlton, and both teams actually rose on the ladder to second and third on the ladder by the end of the year. Could have almost played off in a grand final in 86. Did you feel like you'd have enough, a little bit of Parkin's message, or were you quite happy to play under him for the whole of your career?
I would have played 20 years if Parko was coach for 20 years.
Wow.
Just loved his voice, his enthusiasm.
And by the way, by that question, I'm not insinuating that he was
Actually, I was shocked when because
I think Parko was shocked too.
Yeah, he didn't know.
Yeah, Parko was telling us in our interview with him that he was really looking forward to 86 because he finally, after years of putting in time and effort, was getting Kernahan, Bradley, Motley,
Dorotich,
Bernie Evans, and all these guys coming across.
We would have won it in 86.
Next minute, he's not the coach anymore.
If he had been there, we would have won it.
You reckon?
Yep. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
And 87 probably.
And 87.
Yeah.
Well, he felt like he missed out on that time with us, but obviously the board made a decision that they thought it was time, that his message was getting a bit tired.
Well, was it the board or was it John Elliott?
Well, the board was John Elliott back then.
Yeah. John made a lot of good decisions for Carlton, didn't he?
Yeah. No, well, he obviously made an executive decision at the time. But anyway, so how did you feel at the end of 85? So you got a coach swap and you got all this injection of interstate players from everywhere.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel at the time?
Look, I was devastated for David.
Right.
I thought, and I felt sick in the stomach. And
right.
So anyway, you've got to get on with it.
Yeah.
And I think Bruce Dill summed it up best because he played with Robert Walsh and he knew him and had contact with him.
Of course.
And he said he was sorry to see David go, but it's good to see Robbie back at the club.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you just got to. And unfortunately, we missed out in 86, but anyway.
You've obviously got a very strong relationship with David Parkin and a very... there was one of mutual respect there a lot because he talks very highly of you too.
Oh, that's lovely to know. Thank you. Well, to play when you're a little kid, you want to play league footy.
Yeah,
of course.
I grew up barracking for Carlton. My uncle played.
I didn't know that. So you barracked for Carlton. Yeah. Your uncle played
in the 50s. Vin English.
What was his name? Vin English.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
assume, by the way, by the nature of your surname, that you have an Anglo-Saxon background.
Whatever that is.
As in English, Scottish, Irish, or something like that.
Yeah. And and then to finally run out for your first game is just terrific.
For the team that you barrack for. So I always find it fascinating that, you know, like people that play for the team they barrack for, I think it'd be a bit more special than playing for another
I don't know how it would have gone.
Yeah.
And then to win a premiership, and so to be given that chance by Parko, it's that special bond. So
Of course.
so I'll hold that treasure forever.
Forever, yeah.
And I'm just so glad. I was at Carlton, because imagine if you had to play with Melbourne or Footscray in those days. Never made the finals.
No. It's a bit of luck, isn't it?
Or St Kilda, same thing.
Because you think about it, because, you know, like...
I don't know if it's luck, but
I mean, luck
we did put in the hard
Yeah,
yards.
you did once you're there, but I'm saying it's luck getting to a side, you know what I mean? Like, maybe those days, you know, these days, you know, you get your number one draft picks like, I'll get Carlton at the moment,
Yeah.
like Sam Walsh, you know, like he gets number one, he comes to Carlton, still hasn't played a final, you know what I mean? Like, what if he had gone to, if he would have gone pick 5 or 6, Well, you know what I mean? It's
Well, you've got to feel sorry for the number one picks, because they go to the bottom team.
Yeah.
If they go to a team where there's good players around them, they're going to thrive.
100%.
And
You're almost better off being picked up at pick
I'm telling you,
9 or
like
10.
that number one pick, so...
maybe they should do it like the Americans do and have a lottery.
Do the balls?
Maybe, Luck of the
got
draw.
picked 7 or...
And knowing Carlton, they'd sort of organised to have a few draws until they got the draw that they wanted.
And then still not make it
Tell us, so once you finished up with your career, obviously with the illness, did you have any more involvement in football post your playing career?
When I got crook in 87
Yep.
and just relaxed in 88.
Yep.
And then I went to work and got a phone call, and it was Mick Malthouse on the phone.
Oh, really?
I said, what? He was coaching Footscray.
Yeah, he was indeed.
And he said, would you be interested in coming
Is this in 89, was it?
89.
That's interesting.
Would you be interested in coming over as an assistant? And I thought, shit, well, yeah, why not? Because Parko always said how lucky we were to be at Carlton with the facilities.
Yes.
He said, go to another club and have a look around. But I'd never been to it.
You never knew any better.
Never knew any better, so...
So you went to the Western Oval?
The Western Oval, and I found out, it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
It was like guys were driving up to training in their utes.
Oh, right.
Overalls.
At Carlton, they were driving
coming in their Mercs.
In the Mercedes-Benzes and...
I didn't have a Merc, I had a little old Gemini, but it was a culture shock.
And what about the facilities?
Facilities were very ordinary.
Yeah.
And
couldn't get a hot shower, or
well, the gym was substandard compared to Carlton's. Carlton's had the best, what I saw.
Yep.
And Curly Austin apparently had put in a word for me. So,
okay, right.
So because he was there before me, and then he went to coach Fitzroy.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
After that, and then Mick left Footscray.
That's right.
So I thought,
he went to the West Coast Eagles in 1990.
So you went there in 89?
Yeah, only stayed the 12 months.
Just 12 months.
Then
were you assistant coach? What role were you?
I was just going to say, was it
no role?
No,
you just turned up and stood.
It wasn't forward.
No skills coaching.
So in other words, you're there sort of to give the senior coach a bit of advice. Oh, well, maybe we should try this or try that. Or
yeah, well, Mick didn't take advice. He just did
so what were you there for then?
I don't know. But it was good. I enjoyed it.
At least you got paid.
No, mate.
Oh, you didn't get paid.
Playing against Mick Malthouse, I thought he was the biggest
bastard.
Yeah. You would have remembered him in the 1982 grand final.
Well, he didn't play that year.
No, he got suspended.
Oh, that's right.
He did his shoulder.
He did
his shoulder, sorry.
Yeah.
So he did play in 1980 in their Premiership. Yeah, that's right.
And I thought, but meeting the man, nicest bloke you could ever meet. Lovely, just terrific fella.
And good, like, I'm going to say, did he have a good footy mind? He did have
he did, yes. Yeah. The only thing I've got against, I thought he was a negative coach.
Okay.
In what respect? What do you mean by a negative coach?
I don't care how little we score, as long as the opposition score less.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I think you got that from Alan Jeans when he was at St Kilda.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas Tom Hafey was, I don't care how much they kick,
we
kick more.
Yeah, so that's driven by
glass half empty, glass half full, yeah. Okay.
So it was more or less which I prefer free-flowing, open slate to go for it.
So when Mick Malthouse came to Carlton in 2013, did he ever ring you up and say, listen, do you want to come and have another job at Carlton?
No, you lost my number. So.
What do you think went wrong with him at Carlton? Just quickly? I mean, he lasted for 2 years and 8 rounds.
Yeah. I think the age gap may have been... Because
he'd had his time.
But the players, I think they're all on their phones and iPads apparently. And I don't know.
But you're right, because that's what I've heard too with some of the players that were there that we've interviewed.
Generational.
It was that generation. It was the wrong time for him to go there. It was just.
But yet at Collingwood, 2 years earlier, they would have broken down brick walls for him.
But he kind of
he'd been there for
he'd been there for 11 years.
Yeah, he kind of grew up with him,
A little bit like the players at North Melbourne under Pagan. You see, he had a similar. He was a similar generation to Mick Malthouse. Yet he coached those guys through the under-19s when they were babies, really. Carey and Stevens and Archer and all those guys, and he coached them right through to when they were Premiership players in the 90s.
Why is it always all the little back pocket players are going to become Premiership coaches?
That's true.
When are you going to go and do that?
No, I did it up the road in the local club.
Oh, did you?
I coached Airport West for
fantastic
3
Premiership?
Two flags, yes.
Nice.
Fantastic.
How does that feel as a coach?
I told the players at Airport West, coaching a Premiership side is better than playing in one.
Now,
wow.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Wow.
It's different, But
what is it about coaching it that makes it more satisfying to you?
They're doing what you're telling them to do. The whole 18 or 20 players that we had, they're doing your plan, your instruction. Yes. When you're playing, you're just one part of the cog.
So you've organised a plan and it's worked. It's worked.
So what do they say? I love it when a plan comes together.
It comes together, yes.
So that must be what tempts people to get into coaching, isn't it? That sort of alluring desire to have a whole heap of other guys implement what your vision and your plan is. Yeah. Is that what it is?
I don't. When I first came down, I thought, when I finish football, I want to give something back to the local football, whether that be Bendigo or here. And if we had lived in Hadfield, where we did when we first moved down, I would have put in for the Hadfield job. But because we lived in Airport West,
the Airport West
I'd go and
Eagles,
see a couple of the Eagles. Do you know what their theme song is? The club song is?
No.
Oh my goodness! Let me hear. It's not the West Coast Eagles one for sure. No, which one is it?
Either St Kilda or
don't tell me it's Collingwood.
Collingwood, really?
Good old Airport West forever.
Oh, no, you had to sing it. Oh.
So you had to sing that, did you?
Luckily, the first 2 games I coached, we lost. So we didn't. I didn't have a clue what the. And then we won the 3rd game.
At least you weren't saying Collingwood.
Have we got a club song? I said, yes, let's belt it out.
Oh, there was
and I thought they were taking the mickey out of me.
Really? So you found out that was really the song.
So.
Wow. Anyway.
Now, do you still watch the Blues now? You follow the Blues now?
I watch them. I watch them on the TV. And the wife, the lovely, has to put on the earmuff sometimes.
So you still...
The fundamental mistakes, just...
I
don't want to bag them, but...
No. Well, you can't bag them.
No, what's your observation of what you see today compared to when you played?
I wonder whether they go to training and practice kicking it to the opposition.
Yeah.
Because we seem to kick it straight to them. Straight to them.
Yeah. This year's been really bad for that, I mean...
You can't hit targets, so that must frustrate you.
But I say that the team isn't that bad. Their skills can't be that bad, right? They just can't be that bad, right? But, so what's happened?
Yeah, but how many times does it have to happen in a row?
I don't know, man.
To convince you that maybe it is that bad.
No, it can't be. It can't be that
was last week just a flash in the pan?
I don't know.
Well, we don't know yet.
You know what I think? It's because when a team doesn't bring any pressure, that's when we perform. But when they bring any semblance of pressure, we will.
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out soon.
But that's what
but Carlton were a stop-start. They didn't. Last week I saw they just went for it.
Yes,
they did.
It was like,
to give them credit, they did.
So maybe have a crack. If you're going to lose, go down swinging, not go down.
Exactly.
So I think too. Yeah. I just think too, like my observation of last week and the week before was, it wasn't too too different to the Essendon game. But in that second quarter, we got some goals.
Yeah.
And we took the pressure off, and then they just started to free up a little bit.
Yeah.
And then, like, maybe that kick that they normally miss, that pressure's not on them.
Yeah.
Maybe that was the case, but who knows what's going to happen when the pressure's back on them, you know? So,
well, that's it. When they did get it out of the centre, they banged it forward, and the blokes marked it, and then went back and kicked a goal.
yeah. It's easy, isn't it?
Set it sideways and backwards, and
Yeah.
I think most Carlton people would suggest that with the last two Coleman medalists, the last Brownlow medalist, goodness knows how many number 1 draft picks and top 10 draft picks, surely you can't be a bottom 4 side.
Yeah. No.
Now, yet, you know, we're in that bottom
that
6
way,
anyway.
so,
I mean, if you want to divide the 18 teams into top 6, middle 6 and bottom 6, we're still bottom 6.
Yeah.
And until we get enough wins, we're not going to be out of there, are we?
they're
Okay, coach, what are you going to do differently with them?
they're 18 players on the ground.
Yep.
You hope 6 players will beat their opponent.
Yep.
You accept 6 players will draw with their opponents,
Yeah.
and maybe you'll have 6 that will lower their colours to their opponent.
Yeah.
Our bottom 6 are not as good as the opposition's bottom 6.
Yeah.
I don't feel.
Right.
No, that's fair.
so in other words,
That is very fair, because we've had the same discussion.
Yeah.
And usually it is your bottom 6 or 8 who
Yeah.
really bring you to
Yeah.
win a game or premierships.
Yeah.
It's your bottom. It's not your top. You know, your middle, like you said, but it's that bottom 6, and
Yeah.
I don't think our bottom 6 is that good. Yeah.
I was watching the NBA, the basketball,
Yeah.
and they had their starting 5.
Yeah.
But the teams that won were the players that came off the bench
Yes.
and contributed to the score.
Yeah.
Might have been only 8 or 9 or 10 points, whatever.
Yeah.
But 3 or 4, and that's 30 points. Whereas the opposition were only
Yeah.
getting 15 points out
There
of
you
there.
go.
Well, every team's got its stars, haven't they? They've
Yeah.
all got their
Yeah.
star players, but if you look at premiership sides over the years, the so-called bottom 6 in the
Yeah.
premiership side's pretty decent standard.
And
isn't
they
it?
do their
There's not
job.
too many
They do
where
their
you'd say, "Oh, he's a dud, he's a dud, he's a dud."
Well,
No, not in premiership teams.
Still think you've got to have a dominant ruckman.
Yep. That's another issue for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ruck issue.
He tries Pitnet, he tries, and good luck to him. What number is he?
27.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit, of course, yeah. He should be playing in the back pocket.
If you have a dominant ruckman,
Yeah.
your smalls come into it, your centre line, your on-ballers come
Yeah.
into it, and then they take the ball forward,
Yep.
and it's on the road to then. So
Well, our ruck's been kind of a little bit of an issue for a while now, because then
Soon
Pitnet, at least he's
right?
big, but when he's not there, and then we got like TDK, who still
yeah,
looks like he's got to fill out, and then they chuck Silvani in there, and I don't know what. So yeah, you're
And
right.
both of those two guys might not be there at the end of the year. Who
We'll
knows?
see.
Tell me, you still get out to some of the club functions and some of the pre-game functions and gatherings of premiership sides and reunions.
we've had a few
and things
reunions.
like that?
Yeah,
The Spirit of Carlton functions.
Yes, I get it. The reunions, they're
Yep.
terrific.
Yeah.
I love them, but we're all getting old now, and I'm more comfortable sitting in the chair.
Yeah.
But we've got a function on next week
Yes.
at David Parker.
Tribute to David Parker.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's joined by
It
Carlton and
is.
Hawthorn.
It's a Carlton and Hawthorn's
Yeah.
joint function. Yeah.
It's before the Carlton Hawthorn game.
Yeah.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, it's a couple of days before the Hawthorn game. It's the 30th of June. Yeah, so it should be a big
that
one.
should be a good day. So I'm
down at
looking forward to
Federation
that.
Square. Yeah.
And so many dollars, 180, whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you want
Worth every penny.
yeah, if you want a photo with him, it's about $300. I'll be right.
I'm sure he'd
I
be
love the
more than
bloke,
happy
I
to
know.
give you a photo
Yeah, I
without
think
charging
so.
you $200 extra dollars.
Yeah.
But it's good to see you, out and about at some of these functions with your lovely wife Nerily. She's looked after you amazingly well.
She has. She was.
How long were you married when you were playing? Back
I was
then?
married when I was playing.
Yeah.
We got married in Bendigo.
Yeah. Was that before you started your career at Carlton or after?
Yeah, no, before.
Right.
And we got
Okay.
married in '78.
So she didn't just because you're a Carlton player.
No.
She loved you
She
before
actually
that.
loved you. She actually loved you.
No, she was the star basketballer up there, so I had to marry her.
There you go.
So you married the star.
Yeah, I
She
married the
didn't
star.
marry the
Thought
star.
I might get some fame out of
That's
that.
it.
Oh, wow.
And,
Fantastic.
no, she was terrific, especially when I was sick. So that
Yes,
was,
of course.
and you talk about camaraderie between the guys. Narrowly organised a function for the girls, a reunion for Premiership.
Isn't that terrific?
Just all the girls.
Yeah.
And they said it was a sensational day.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So they're going to keep doing that.
That's great.
Excellent.
That's really good. Yes, well, yes, as they say, behind every great man is normally an even better woman. So
yeah, you got to say that. But
You got to say that.
are you listening, loves?
she said you better say that because it's true.
She's taking notes. She's not only listening. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, one other thing I wanted to ask you. Do you remember every single one of your 6 goals in your career?
Yeah. 6
I do.
goals.
You do?
I do.
What was the best of them? Which one did you enjoy the most? Which one do you think was the most satisfying and most important?
Probably the most satisfying was one against Geelong at Carlton,
Right.
where I think it was the last quarter.
Mm-hmm.
We're fairly even.
What year was this?
80-something.
Yeah.
80-something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
What was it, the same match that Brazaste took his mark of the year, was it?
I don't know, but I know
Because that was at Princess Park.
we were kicking a lot of points,
Yep.
and instead of going away from Geelong, we were keeping them in the game. I think we kicked 4 or 5 or 6 points in a row.
Right.
And there's a kick out from. We kicked another point, and a bloke kicked it out from fullback, and it went down. And someone kicked it back over to Scotty Howe, took a mark about 50 metres out,
Yep.
and I was on Peter Featherby at the time. But
Oh, yes, he was a good player for Geelong.
yeah, so I was just not tagging him. I had to go and pick him up because he was going to be a loose man.
Yep.
So I ran, picked him up, and he saw Scotty Howe take the mark. So he just started to jog back towards his end of the ground.
No respect.
And I was standing there, and Scotty goes, and he kicked it to me, and I'm 40 or 35 metres out. And I thought, shit.
I'm close enough to
And
kick, mate.
we've kicked enough points.
Yeah.
And I went back and I kicked the goal, and the cheer from the
Yeah,
because I was sick of points.
Yeah.
And that was,
Not only that, I think the Carlton faithful would have been cheering more the fact that you were the one who scored the goal.
so that gave me a lot of pleasure, and we did go on to win the game. So
That's great. Fantastic. Well, Desi, you not only kicked 6 goals during your 104 matches, but you also played a vital role in those 2 fantastic back-to-back premierships in 81 and 82. And sad that it all had to come to an end as it did in 86, or losing the 86 grand final.
all the
and then
things come to an end. But
unfortunately not playing the 87 premiership.
Yeah.
But you had a fantastic career with the Blues.
I'm grateful to Carlton for giving me the opportunity and to be a part of the premierships.
Yeah.
And that's, they can't take it away from you. And
No.
I just ride through on the coattails. I go away with Harmsy a fair bit.
Yeah. Are you good mates with Harmsy?
Good mates with Harmsy.
That's good.
We go to like Warrnambool or New South Wales, wherever. And people recognise him all every.
Yeah, they recognise
And
him.
we're sitting at a table and they come up. Oh, Wayne, can I get an autograph? Yes. Sure.
He loves
And
it.
he goes, what about him? They go,
Who's that?
doesn't worry me. I still love it.
Yes.
Well, they leave me alone. I can have a drink and eat
Yeah,
tea.
that's right.
and
Yeah,
all the shit
well.
out of Harmsy, but it's great.
No, you formed a fantastic combination back then. The defence was just one of the most respected defences going around, as you said earlier. The Bruce Dools, Wayne Harms, Val Perovic.
I reckon Harmsy was nearly pound for pound one of the best players ever.
Do you know how many people?
How
use
many
that
people say
expression?
that?
Yeah.
Heaps.
How many
say
we've
that.
even interviewed?
I
use
say it now.
that exact expression,
He used-
pound for pound.
I saw him play on Steve McCann, who's 6'4", jumped all over the top of it,
Yeah.
and if he didn't mark it, the call came to the ground, and he just picked it up
But
and
he was
took off.
he was ahead of his time because, like I know Harmsy. I've watched all his highlights. I remember him when I was. But he could take a big mark.
Yep.
Right? He could run, kick off both feet, kick a goal, defend.
You could tackle, you could...
Like, he's the
He
modern
was-
day
yeah.
football, if you think about it. I've even, like, with his highlights, he was the first, one of the first people I saw give, like, the
the
no
bender,
argue. Yeah, like, he was that good, you
He
know?
would have been, if he had lived in New South Wales, he would have been terrific at rugby league.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would have been.
Because he was also that size, he was
solid.
stocky.
And
He had a good, strong
Yeah.
core.
Yeah.
And could jump. He was
Yeah.
do everything.
Do you know what I admired about him as much as anything was how he could land on his feet.
Yeah, always.
The amount of marks he took, spectacular marks, but he'd land on his feet and keep running.
But I was watching your highlights too, and now you talk about that. Is always when you took the mark, your first instinct was to take off,
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things that I noticed all the players did. At the bang, they would take off straight
Keep
away.
the ball moving.
Keep the ball moving. Like even like I'd seen you take a mark, you'd land, and you'd be giving off a handball.
You'd be they don't seem to do that.
No, they seem to like slow down the game, stop it. It was always move because, like a few players have said to me, if you move, something will happen. You know what I mean? Move the ball, something will happen. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you before. Who do you reckon was your most difficult opponent? Or the one that gave you the greatest challenge?
There's quite a few of them. The one I played on most because we met them in finals, and that was Richmond.
Yep.
So I'd say Dale Waitman.
Dale Waitman. He was a great player.
Very good. And he had a terrific combination with him and Disco, Michael Roach.
Yes.
Where, on the ground or off the ground?
But on it. But he would just say stuff to Disco, knock at her, and
bang.
it's like
so they had a bit of chemistry going there, the time.
And you just couldn't. You had to always be on your toes with Dave because you didn't. He was go for a mark. He was good. He always gave me grief.
Well, I'll tell you what. 104 games. I reckon you must have played a stack more night games. And did you ever play any state games or anything like that?
Yeah, played one state game.
Played one state game. Okay. You must have played a lot of night games because I remember you played a lot of games. You played a lot of games at VFL Park in Waverley.
Yep.
But obviously senior games for Premiership points, just over 100. Get your name on the locker.
On the locker?
Yeah, you definitely
got it. We'll always remember you as that fabulous back pocket player. I can't believe that you didn't get into the Carlton team of the 20th century.
No, that's okay.
That's how good a back pocket you are, and that's how a lot of other Carlton people see you. And they can't put them all in, but nevertheless, must have been a really touch and go thing between yourself and.
That doesn't enter my mind. Yeah. The only I'm really proud of is being a Premiership player.
Yeah, 100%. And mateships and that. That's it. That's it.
Very true. Well, we thank you for the memories, Desi. Thanks for coming down memory lane with us here this afternoon.
Thank you.
And we look forward to catching up with you again one day. And well done on a fabulous and distinguished career with the Blues.
Thank you.
Great to get here.
And as we always say at the end of every game and every segment, go Blues.
Go Blues.
Go Blues.
Come on, let's get a big one. Go Blues.
Go Blues.
That's the one.
Buried deep within a cemetery, I will fight, never weary. I wanna be legendary. Till I'm dead and buried deep within a cemetery, I will fight, never weary. I wanna be legendary. I'll be last place, that's alright. I don't work at a fast pace. I'm a steady horse creeping up straight past it. And once I pass you, no one's getting past me. I see people hit walls when they stop there. I don't get that mind, man, it sounds